Can you at least tell us like a little bit what it's gonna do?
Well, that's definitely something that can add transparency.
Yeah, it will add transparency to one of the areas of IC ecosystem. But yeah, this is all we can say right now.
Here is 100 ICP. Please, give it back to me. Not to you guys, but to the guy that bought it.
To us.
To you, yeah. And you can claim, I'm sorry, it was a bug. I don't know what happened. It was something suspicious. Welcome back to Blockchain Pill. My name is Alex, and today we have a podcast with the people at ID Geek. ID Geek is an internet identity marketplace, basically where you buy and sell internet identities. But, well, what is an internet identity? I'm glad you asked. The internet identity is a blockchain authentication framework supported by the Internet Computer. This is the official definition by the Definity Foundation. Think of it as a wallet that you connect to whatever places you go inside the Internet Computer, but it's not a wallet because you can connect with it into wallets, so it's even better than that. But we will learn more about the ID Geek with Dimitri and Aya. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. Welcome back to the podcast. How's it going? Please tell our viewers who you are and what you do.
Hey, I'm Dmitry.
Hello, I'm Maya.
I do all product-related stuff on GEEK Factory.
And I run some boring stuff like operations, finance, and some legal things around GEEK Factory.
Wonderful. It's really nice to have you guys back. It's been a while, but I really want us to discuss about what you have been up to and, to talk about your latest product, ID Geek. The first question that I want to ask you guys is, because you are developing many projects on the Internet Computer, why did you decide to pick the Internet Computer, the place to develop your projects and not any other blockchain?
Our background is that we are working as VC investors. And together with the investment, we also propose our portfolio companies different technology. We were very tech oriented as investors always. And as we were very tech oriented, we always looking at new technologies. And blockchain, of course, was one of those technologies. And it happened that we learned about Definity and that they are building Internet Computer Protocol. And we thought that this is exactly the technology that can boost the development of Web3. And since we were kind of one of the pioneers in Web2 era, building social networks around Eastern European countries, we decided to draw our attention to Web3 in the format of exactly this protocol.
Is the fact that Definity's Internet Computer allows for better development of dApps one of the reasons why you decided to pick the Internet Computer as well?
Internet Computer, I think, is the only technology right now where you can build the entire dApp fully on chain. I think it is only possible on the Internet Computer, and there are some other benefits for developers as well, such as SNS, for example, where you can use fully decentralized governance for your dApp. And it's not only with the SNS, so it's also possible with some built in-house solutions. So you can host your entire dApp on the IC, and you can also use the governance, which is completely decentralized.
When you say you can use the governance, are you talking about the SNS thing on the Internet Computer?
Yeah, it can be SNS or it can be anything you build yourself. Because the technology provides you that option. So you can create a DAO and make all the decisions, like together with your community or with your users or with just some group of people you think should make those decisions.
So for new developers that are looking, because I have talked to a few developers that are decided to build on the Internet Computer, one of the problems was that there was not a lot of documentation on the Internet Computer. To them, where can they find answers to the questions that they have, and what are some of the biggest benefits that you think ICP provides to developers?
Yeah, so for benefits, I think we already named a few. For the documentation, I think there is a forum, there is a official documentation for Motoko. And right now, I want to add as well that our first projects were built in Motoko, and even there were some issues, of course, and we kind of had some limitations, but we always found some workarounds. And our recent project is built on Rust, and it's kind of the language itself is more difficult, especially for the new developers. But if you know it, you can do much better products using Rust.
I heard developers say that most developers don't really like Rust, but they say they do because it makes them sound cool. Is that true?
I don't know, but yeah, but with what I know is that yeah, with Machoko, it's really easy to start because the language is, I think, designed for new developers. But there are much more options with Rust.
So you guys, as I mentioned in the beginning, are working on multiple projects right now on the Internet Computer. What are the projects that you are working on right now?
Yeah, so totally we have 5 projects right now. And since our resources are limited, we can't work on all of them simultaneously. So yeah, actively we're working on 2 of them. One is ID Geek, which we will talk about today in details, and the second is the new Geek, which we are not yet ready to announce, but maybe in a 2 or 3 weeks we will announce it. So it's gonna be the 6 projects in our Geek Factory.
So the GEEK Factory is not sleeping at all. You mentioned, what's the name of the new one that you?
I can say right now, or I will. Yeah. So the only thing I can say is it will add some additional transparency into one of the parts of IC ecosystem. So it's the only thing I can say. But further things will go together with the announcement later.
It's great news. I can't wait to hear about the new project. Everybody, you heard it here at the Blockchain Pill. Today, I want us to talk about the ID Geek. So, first of all, what is ID Geek?
Yeah, ID Geek is a marketplace where you can buy or sell internet identity.
And why would anyone want to buy or sell an internet identity, first of all?
Yeah, there could be multiple reasons. At least we already see multiple use cases on it. So first one is, let's say you have a neuron locked for 8 years, and you wanna, I don't know, due to some life circumstances, you need money earlier than in 8 years. So you want to buy it. You want to sell it with some discount. And the second use case we see right now is people just trying to buy some catchy, easy to remember numbers to use on the internet computer.
What is the process? So, I have an internet identity that I want to sell, let's say, and I go to your website, and then what happens? What do I do?
Yeah, first thing you need to do is you need to transfer your identity to the ID Geek smart contract. So it became the only controller of this identity. It is needed to secure the whole process. And then when the other party buys the identity, it just transfers back. So technically, how it works is you just add the ID Geek canister as one of the devices who controls the identity. Then the canister removes all other devices, and the opposite process is completely the opposite. So when the identity is sold, or you just wanna return it back to your device, the canister simply adds your device and removes itself from the list. So this is pretty simple and straightforward.
How did you guys get the idea to do this thing?
So it wasn't our idea actually. It was discussed in various communities from the very beginning. It was discussed a lot on the official forum, and I even remember that Bob Bodley, who you probably know, he tweeted about some unique and cool ways how you can use NFTs on the IC. And one of the use cases is then you can wrap your identity together with all the assets into an NFT. So yeah, we don't have identity as an NFT on ID Geek, but I must say that technically it is possible to do so. It would be also very interesting to hear the feedback from the community. So if do they think that internet identity together with the assets is NFT or not?
I feel it's really comparable with NFTs, but I think it's even better than an NFT because you can actually see the actual value of it if it were an NFT. So, for example, if you want to buy, like, if we're looking at the NFTs, like the well-known ones, the apes or Azukis or whatnot, their value is arbitrary, right? So it has value if people think it has value, but the internet identities that you can buy and sell off of ID Geek, they actually have a value because they're linked to ICP,
Yep.
right? So I really love the project. I really love what you guys are building, and obviously so is everyone else because the volume you almost reached like 50,000 ICP in what, like a month. But I feel there is a problem. Whenever you want to buy or sell an internet identity, you have to wait for 30 days until you get it. I What's the problem? Why 30 days?
Yeah, so this 30-day thing, we call it a protection period. And I'll try to explain in a very simple terms without diving into some complex terminology. You probably noticed then when you log in to NNS, after some time, like 30 minutes, you need to log in again. So this, let's call it a session length of like 30 minutes. Uh, and with some technical knowledge, you can create the custom interface for the NNS and say that in your interface, the session length will be 30 days instead of 30 minutes. And then you sell your internet identity, and without even having it, you can still access the NNS for 30 days with this session you created. And there is currently no way how you can see all so-called like active sessions, or you can kill them. So the only thing you can do is to actually wait for 30 days. It's the maximum possible value. So after 30 days, all active sessions die by themselves. So yeah, you just need to wait, or we can secure the deal, and the seller theoretically can have the access to the assets.
They can have access to the assets, but what is the risk there really? Because people, when they sell an internet identity, they sell it because the ICP is locked for 8 years, right? So what is the risk? What can they transfer?
So if we're talking about linked assets, there could also be some tokens which are just there on your NNS account, and you can, there could be an option where you don't want to transfer it somewhere outside, like on a Coinbase, and sell it there. So you just want to sell the whole bunch of neurons, ICPs, and maybe later we will add more assets. So it's gonna be, like the full pack of everything you wanna sell.
I understand. No, but I assume if I want to sell, so if I sell my internet identity and I have liquid assets in there, I just sell those or send them to a different account and then sell the locked stuff, right? Is this what's usually happening? People selling identities with completely locked assets, or are people?
Yes, yeah, but theoretically there is a case I just described where you can. So if you want to cheat the system somehow, you will keep there some liquid assets,
Okay.
sell it, and then having those extra days, you can try to steal them,
Okay.
even when you don't have the access to the identity. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
to secure the process, we need to use this 30 days thing.
Totally. Okay. And can there anything be done about the 30-day period? Because if those were NFTs, and if you when you wanted to buy an NFT, you would have to wait like for 30 days. Imagine how slow the whole NFT marketplace. It would be practically non-existent. So is there anything that can be done to shorten this 30-day period?
Uh, so yes and no. So it can be done by the Definity. So if they create a feature when you can kind of kill all active sessions, or like revoke all the access to all the apps your internet identity has, but it's as far as I know, it's a pretty difficult task to do, and definitely not a priority right now. And the other option would be, if you think you might sell your um, identity in a future, you can transfer it to the ID Geek before that. And so to kind of, yeah, so, and after 30 days passed, so you can just sell it immediately. And again, if we hear enough feedback that people would want this feature, then we'll probably kind of focus more on the transparency. I mean, like adding more options for people to see what's happening with the neuron. So maybe they could vote differently than when they transfer it to the ID Geek. Because right now it just stays as it is. So
with the follows and everything.
yeah, we don't change anything here. So if it follows someone, it will vote, and it will get the maturity. So if people would want to use ID Geek as a tool to store their identity and their assets, then we'll need to, of course, add some features to so they be able to work with those assets. But yeah, this is something we are kind of waiting for the feedback from the community.
Okay, so the 30-day thing is not a simple thing where you guys could make an NNS proposal to ask Dfinity to flip the switch and not have to wait 30 days for people to sell it.
No.
So it's a lot
I
more
think
difficult than that.
It's a lot more difficult, yes.
Okay. So I saw on your website there is a lot of warnings like do not log in with the internet identity that you want to sell. Do not do this. Do not do that. What are some do's and don'ts when you want to buy or sell an internet identity through ID Geek?
Well, I mean, of course, we're willing to focus mostly on do's, not don'ts, right? We are discovering those don'ts on the way, and the one don't that you mentioned. So we realized that. I mean, we always kind of knew that people do not read the things that you write, and therefore we just remove the opportunity to sell the same internet identity that you logged in with into ID Geek. But we are building the product as user friendly as possible with the smooth transition of the internet identities, and therefore we do want to remove all the possible don'ts on the way. But in terms of the do's, it's like always in blockchain, you are in charge of your assets. And so currently we automatically fetching all the assets that you have on NNS. It's like locked neurons, tokens that you have. But currently we do not show any dApps that you are using with this internet identity. So occasionally you can sell your social capital, right? If you have a really decent number of followers, for example, on Discover. We do not show any wallets that are being used with this internet identity, and you may end up just lose the access to your wallet with a really cool collection of NFTs. And that is a little bit beyond the scope that we currently fetching. So this is the do's. Please do check what you're willing to sell.
Okay, is there a way for people to disconnect their internet identity that they're selling from the dApps they logged into?
It's depending on the dApp, I think. So it's each case should be tested and researched separately.
Okay, for example, from Discover, from District, can you sell an internet identity without your profile?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I wanna go back a little bit to the previous question because I remember reading on your website that after the 30 days the protection period passes, you guys check to see if the same values are in the wallet, and if they match, then the sale goes through. So what happens if I mistakenly sold my internet identity, and I'm like, oh my god, how do I get it back? Can I send one ICP to the wallet, to the identity that I've sold, so that it stops selling because it's not a.
No, we're checking if there are not less assets, because during this protection period, there are still interest on your neurons being accumulated. So you may end up having a little bit more than it was shown initially, and therefore we are checking that it definitely not less.
So okay, cool.
So yeah, if it's already, so if the sales process already started, there is no way to kind of cancel it unless you can somehow extract the money, or I don't know,
So
break the neuron somehow.
so if it's more, it's okay. If it's less, it isn't.
Yes. Then the transaction will be canceled if it's less.
Maybe there should be like a feature idea. There should be something like, oh my god, I realized I shouldn't have sold my neuron. Here is 100 ICP, please give it back to me. So reverse the sale, not to you guys but to the guy that bought it.
To us.
To you, yeah. And you can claim, I'm sorry, it was a bug. I don't know what happened. It was something suspicious. We need to
Speaking about fees,
of course. Yeah. So I went onto your activity page. What are the usual discounts that internet identities sell for, depending on their log times?
Well, it's kind of early to judge, right? Because out of 122 transactions that we've managed to complete so far, around 40% only with assets, right? And so usually you calculate the discount based on the assets that are linked to your identity. And it's just kind of subjective observation, that it falls within 10 to 25%. We didn't do any bunch of research on the correlation with the maturity of the neurons, but again, observation which cannot be confirmed with the data so far is that it more of a correlates with the amount of assets seller would like to sell. So the bigger the price for the identity, the bigger discount tend to be.
Of course, yeah, because there is a lot of ICP locked. So I'm looking on the website. The biggest sale is actually an identity worth almost 23,000 ICP, and it sold for 17,000 ICP. It's incredible. That is 5,000 ICP discount. It's crazy. So for people that want to become investors in the internet computer, make sure you check ID Geek, because you may be able to buy like 30,000 ICP for like 20,000 ICP, which is incredible. Super cool. I love it. So you guys used to have on the website, you mentioned that you don't run any fees. Is that still the case, or when are fees gonna start, on the platform?
I'm the biggest promoter of fees within our team. We're always arguing when it's time to switch them on. But there are definitely certain things need to be done until we feel comfortable switching on the fees. So far, everyone should understand that it's still an experiment. It's still beta, right? So we don't feel comfortable yet switching on the fees. We're providing the opportunity for the community to test the service together with us. But eventually, of course, we're building products in order to provide qualitative service. And for doing so, we definitely need to have some revenues.
Of course. Yeah, I completely agree. People will be like, you want to make money. Why do you build something to make money? Of course, it's a business. Of course, it's a business.
Exactly.
And the benefits that ID Geek brings, I believe is amazing, because until you guys built this, if you had locked your ICP for a longer amount of time, there was no way that I'm aware of to get your ICP out. So this is invaluable for people that thought the ICP was locked and gone. So yeah, it's a really good service, and I'm super bullish. And on Twitter and in the weekly reviews, I keep mentioning you guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's talk a little bit about the available features on the ID Geek marketplace. So, what can people do right now?
So obviously, we have all the main features marketplace should have. So you can buy and you can sell something. So we're also checking right now the NNS for all the assets there. So we can show you the neurons. We can show you all the SNS neurons as well. So not only ICP neurons, also SNS neurons, and we can show you if there are any liquid assets in your NNS, be it ICP or some SNS tokens. One of the recent features we released was the binding offers, and as you can see, people are using it quite often right now. Even this the biggest sale. So it was
Did it sell through an offer, the biggest one?
Yes.
Yeah. I want to emphasize how quickly you guys are updating this thing. So I remember before you added the offers, the binding offers, somebody said it, hey, it would be cool to have binding offers. Like, yeah, thank you for the update. And in like 1 week, 2 weeks, bam, you have an announcement like we now have binding offers. Incredible speed. So congratulations to the team.
We,
To the
we, we
development
will
team.
pass this to the team. Yeah, they
Yeah.
are awesome.
I'm sorry. So now you can continue with the what you can do.
The latest thing we've added, we are just checking all the assets value. So we are checking with the ICDEX API to show you the estimated value of all your linked assets, basically. So we check the price for all tokens, and then we calculate the estimated value. So now you're able to see the discount you have, and it's just much more. It's much easier to just understand the real value of the internet identity.
I'm looking on ID Geek right now. There is a bidding war on one of the identities. So there's 4 bids right now, and they're trying to get close to his price. It's so cool. I love it. Yeah. Are there any cool updates that you guys are planning for the ID Geek in the near future?
Yes, of course. We are working on 3 different directions, I would say. So the first one is not visible probably for end users, and some hidden features on the backend to improve stability and security. And it's like the one of the first steps towards the open sourcing ID Geek, and towards the maybe DAO controlled ID Geek, because we want to make it. So at first I don't want to use the black hole word because people might not know what it does mean, but we want to give the control to the ID Geek, to either kind of smaller or bigger community. So we don't want.
So what would be the benefits of that?
Well, the benefits will be the ownership. So the ownership will belong to the community, right? It's not like we are basically providing custodian services for the users, right, in order to keep their identities. It's more of we provide the solution, we provide the technology, but the ownership are still under the control of users, which is what decentralization about.
It takes time because we receiving feedback, and based on the features we understand we will need to build based on the feedback. It also influences the architecture, so we need to change it, and we want to kind of, before we make it open source, before we make it like DAO controlled, we want to kind of build the base and not change it a lot in the future.
So you need to have like an actual product that is well established, and only then you make it a DAO, so that people don't have to vote on every single little thing.
I would say kind of the core thing should be done, and this core thing really depends on the uh, which features we will need to build. Because if it's more about the marketplace, it's one thing. If it's about something else, it's another thing. So we want to kind of create a core thing, and then yes, then we'll kind of ready to move forward. So it's one of the hidden features, and if you talk about features which are visible to users, then it's probably be two things. One is we want to show other assets, not only the ones stored in NNS like neurons and ICP. We want to also show you the some social accounts, maybe some assets which you store in your wallets connected to this identity.
One thing that I would love to be able to see on the activity tab here. So this is my feedback for you. Um, so if you're looking at the activity tab, you can see the identities that were sold. I would love to be able to click and see how long, for example, the ICP was locked, so that I get a better understanding on what sells for how much and whatnot. Because right now you can only see it before it sells. After it's sold, you no longer see.
Yeah, I think it's a very good idea, and I think it's shouldn't be very difficult for us to add this.
So when you mentioned decentralizing the ID Geek, the control over the canister and whatnot, do you guys consider launching it via the Definity's SNS?
It's something we should decide. It's
It
so
could be
yeah,
one of the options. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
So
it's
it's
one of
right
those.
now it's not set in stone anything.
No.
No,
Okay.
We just
Um,
want first to polish the product to be sure that it is ready, and then it's like one step at a time, and then think about the possibilities how to make the canister independent.
for us it's important to first find the product market fit, and then when it's already there, then we can move forward. Not just do something and then try to find what to do with the non-working product together with the community. So it will definitely not the way forward.
for me personally, to have identities listed on the marketplace and sell in like a couple of days at the most, I think that's a great product fit. Like, at least for me, I feel it. And 50,000 ICP in volume, it's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes it's just minutes, not days. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love it.
But
So I'm sorry. I'm genuinely, I really like this project, and I really like you guys. It's the second time you're here, and you never stop. You guys don't stop and keep building, and I love that.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Yeah. What did you want to say?
There is also one more maybe I want to add. I mentioned two of the updates which we are building. So the technical one, the showing other assets from different depths, and the third one is probably the most requested, is the buy offers. And in general, we want to add more features to the marketplace, but we'll probably start with buy offers. So it's when you can say that, okay, I have 1,000 ICPs, for example, and I want to buy any internet identity with a certain discount. So, and when it's on the market, you immediately can buy it automatically.
So, for example, and I have a neuron locked with 1,400 ICP, and you have 1,000 ICP to spare, and I'm the first one to sell it to you.
Yeah. So it can speed up the process, and it can help both. So the investors can just attract more people who want to buy, who want to sell, and the people who want to sell, they immediately will see that, okay, there is certain um, offers on the market, so they don't want to wait for the buyer. They can sell immediately.
Okay.
And what is interesting, we have this feature request for two use cases. So first one I just described, and the second one is when people are just wanna some people just wanna buy certain cool catchy numbers, and they also wanna set some buy offers. So I will buy, I don't know, like triple sevens for, let's say, this amount of money. And
I wanted to add about the product market fit that you mentioned, that you feel that there with we see that this is something in demand. But we on the other side see that the transactions that are happening, they are not that frequent yet. So there may be some days without any transaction. We have just one transaction per day, which is kind of, we still think that it's still in adoption phase. But definitely what we see is that uh, people are getting more and more comfortable with selling bigger assets associated with the identity. And that's definitely the trend. So we see more and more identities with big value.
I think we're gonna see like an explosion in sales when the 30-day period is gonna end. So that's really when I think it's gonna ramp up, because people, I want to, they're gonna sell it like NFTs, and I think there is no transactions because there is not many people selling. So there is a lot of buyers, but not enough people selling.
Yeah, that's true.
my-
But on the other hand, imagine you have a neuron which is locked for 8 years. Wouldn't you be comfortable waiting like 30 days?
Yeah, of course. I
And
know. I
I
know.
mean that's not precisely comparable to NFTs when you have a very liquid market, right?
Yeah.
But here you have a
No, I
locked.
why I think it would be better. So, for example, I have, let's say, I have a 1,000 ICP locked neuron, right? I want to sell it, and I need the money right now. I will accept 700 ICP, right? Somebody buys it, but he's not in a rush, and he's gonna sell it for 850 ICP. And if he sells it in 2 weeks, he doesn't care. So he just made there. So that's the thing. So when that's gonna fix, I think it's gonna be great. Yeah, I would make it a priority to do that. But Dimitri told me, like, before we started this podcast, that it's very difficult to do, and I only had the impression that it's like you flip a switch. It's not 30 days anymore. It's a second. So, but he mentioned it's very difficult. Cool. Yeah. Is there
That's the
anything?
trade-off, right?
It is right now, of course. Is there anything we did not cover that you guys would like to say here in the podcast?
I think we
We
covered.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
we covered. We just wanted to kind of emphasize that we created an umbrella brand name, which is Geek Factory. So all our gigs are under one umbrella name now, and we're looking forward to some additions in our family. Soon it will be a new geek on the way.
Yeah, I heard about it. You didn't want to give too many details, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
totally looking forward. Can you
stay
at
tuned.
least can you at least tell us like a little bit what it's gonna do?
Well,
Oh,
that's definitely something that can add transparency, right, Dmitry?
yeah, it will add transparency to one of the areas of IC ecosystem. But yeah, this is all we can say right now. Don't
We
try to guess. Don't
No,
try
we
to
will cut
guess.
it. I will cut it if it is it going to be a charting thing.
There will be some charts as well. Yes.
It's so cool. Now, yeah,
Yes, it's how can we be without a chart? We need
it's
a chart on
incredible.
ID Geek.
No, yeah, because it's been how many? It's been like 2 years, and we don't really have like a charting thing on the internet computer, and that's a problem because you want to see the price of Ghost, you want to see the price of other like tokens. There is nowhere you can
Yeah.
check them.
It won't be about tokens, but it's something different. But yes, it will be charts as well. There will be charts as well, but not about the tokens.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see it. So you said in 2-3 weeks we're gonna find out what that
Yeah,
is.
hopefully.
Okay, cool. It's great. So definitely looking forward to see the new product. I'm really excited to see what you guys will continue doing with ID Geek. And yeah, definitely been a pleasure to have you guys on the podcast. And we'll stay in touch.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
having us. It was
It's
always
a
a
pleasure.
pleasure.
It's my pleasure as well. If you enjoyed today's podcast and you want to buy, cheaper ICP, or you want to sell your internet identity with your locked neurons, make sure to check out idgeek.app. Everything you need is there. Don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.